We're recording again another class. We started up a new some really new big developments. First, the app. We have the app. The app is it's now in Hebrew. You can download it. Rebbe 770. It's Hebrew and English. So it's very and it's going to be opening up. Many more people are going to start be able to connect to the Rebbe with it. And in the app itself, we have all these classes. And the class that I'm giving here is all in the app. You can get it through the app. We started up. We have to finish it, but we developed a web page. I hope to have all the classes there, so it'll be an easy way for everybody just to go and take care and see. And just it's people are like really excited. I mean, this thing is, I always tell people that we're all miracle workers. We all can be, because if you have the Rebbe water we've talked about, going to the app, there's Rebbe water, some videos on it, and if you have the app where you can write into the Rebbe, you see miracles all the time, and you help people out. And so I mean, I like yesterday. Yesterday I went to there's a place called Chassidim here. It's a big kosher supermarket people shop at, and so I go there. And I see some guy there. He's Rachman, he's collecting money to buy tefillin. You can see he's having a hard time with life. So I open up the app. I tell him about it. I open it up, and he said he wants to write in. So I opened it up. He put his name and everything, and he sat there. I don't know what he wrote, but he sat there for like 10 minutes writing something. And it's like I was so amazed. I was zocha that I could help a person and I connect them to the Rebbe Malchus. To be able to be zocha, to have such a merit, it's an amazing thing. I mean, I was on the bus coming back from Yerushalayim, and there was a lady there. She must have been maybe 40 or something. You could see she was having a hard time with life. She kept looking at me. She came to me. She wanted to tell me you had this and that. So I opened up the app, told her about the app, and then we opened it. And then she write in a whole letter to the Rebbe. I mean, it's like you could, and besides, you give it to people, and they're able to write into the Rebbe. It's an amazing thing. We have the capability. It used to be to connect to the Rebbe, you had to take a plane and go to the 770. Now you just press a button and there's a real connection and everybody wants it. It's an amazing thing. And it's like gold. I know how to do it. I have it in my hands. I have gold. I've worked for several years for one of the biggest Balsadakos in the world, according to the guy's collecting. He's the number one. I'm a CPA. I was working with him. I'm a CPA, so I helped him out tremendously. And I saw what he can do very easily. We can do more than that. We were just opening up, giving some of the water, opening up. We do amazing stuff. Anyway, so we improved it. It's much better now. We're adding to it. Now we have it also in Hebrew, so you can sign that in Hebrew. And the whole idea of all of this stuff is how to bring the redemption, how to reveal how the goodness and push away the darkness. And that's what we're doing. That's what this classes are about. The Rebbe says over here, if you'll see, we're the most special level ever, and we have special. That means we have extra special kochos. And we're just very, very special. So let's go and let's see what's happening over here. Okay, so now I'm working on for next week, not this week. For next week we're working on it's Parsha of Shlach, and it's the second sikha, which was said. Let's see, we're getting to it. I highly recommend, if you can get this book, to get the book. It was Tammuz. This was when. So Shlach Lecha was next week's Parsha. And I gave a class on that. We have it. And the next class is when the Rebbe came to America. Very amazing sikha talking about something unbelievable. I'm trying to look something up here before we get going. Hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully, you guys will have listen and learn some new stuff, and we'll help you happier and make you better people. So this was said on the 18th day, the 20th day of Nisan. It's the second day of the week, and Tavshin and Aleph, and it was to the Chassidim that blessed him. There are many Chassidim that blessed him. It's the Jubilee anniversary of the rescue of the Rebbe Shlita, Malchus and his Rebbitzen from Europe, from the Europa, the Valley of Tears, and their successful rivals in America on Monday, the 28th of Sivan. I guess I said Nisan, Sivan, 5701. And the Rebbe said this after Mikveh, and it continued after Marv. So there were two sichos. This sichos that said, this talk the Rebbe said was after Mincha, and then he, later on after Marv, he spoke again. So it's talking, commemorate 50 years now. 50 years we know it has to do with a Yova, freedom. Like I said, the 50th year, there was a year of freedom. All the slaves would go back to their not being slave, to be free, and all the houses would go back. It's a special time in the Torah. So this is 50 years. Okay. So it says the special quality of the special day, which the whole day is called a special day, a Yom Zachai, because of the good thing that happened on the day. Even when good things happen only in a particular time of day, the beginning more or the end, is hinted in the name and the number of the day of the month. So in other words, even one part of the day it has effect on the whole part of the day. So something special happens one part, it's that it happened that day. And in our case, the 28th of Sivan, Chavches Sivan, spells out the words Koach, which means strength, power. Of a month, it's the Koach of the month, the power of the entire month. And the 28th of Nisan denotes the power of the entire month, the third month, which is unique due to it being the month of the giving of Torah. So now we have the giving of the Torah this month. This is in Sivan. And 28 has to do with the power of this month. This month is very special. Which is especially connected to the third month, as we shall explain. Namely, that this meritorious, this special day of the 28th of Sivan denotes the strength of the giving of the Torah. Okay, so now it also is alluded to the number of the day 28. True power. What's it mean? Koach 28. That according to the Torah, according to that, Koach means true power. Let's see, translate this. Koach, ois is Koach, means it's the letters of power. That in this month it's emphasized the special power from the whole month. This 28. Okay. And Koach Sivan, this Koach Sivan, but Koach shows the power from the whole month, the whole third month. But versus Alketel Demot. Okay, let's just do it in English, I guess. I'm going over. Okay, and in our case, the 28th of Sivan, Chufches spells Koach, the power of the month, denotes the power of the entire month, 28. And the 28th of Sivan denotes the power of the entire month, the third month, which is unique to it being the month of the giving of the Torah, which is especially connected to the third month, as we shall explain, namely, that this day, the special day of the 28th of Sivan, denotes the strength of the giving of Torah. So the Torah is given in this month, and the day that melts its strength, that's the main part, is the 20th. And as also hinted and alluded to in the number of the day 28. 28 means koich, means a true power, a real power, emistar power, according to the Torah. That true power, according to the Torah, is connected to the number 3. Why? 3 times is a chazaka, established fact. You do something 3 times to make it strong, established. And the verse says the trifold string will not rip quickly. It said when you have a string of three threads, 3 strings, the 3 threads can't rip at it easily. 3 represents a lasting and eternal strength, the power of a permanent matter. The ultimate completeness of the power, the strength of 3 itself, is when you take 3 times 3, then 3 times 3 times 3, because you have 3 is a special thing by itself, but 3 times 3 times 3 is the ultimate, which would become sign 27, that if you take the letters, which is in Hebrew, 27 is the same as the word zach comes up, which means pure, when do we have the 27 in a complete way? This 3 times 3, the essence, we're talking about goodness and goodness and goodness, it's complete on the 28th day, because then you have everything done, which follows immediately after the completeness of 27, 3 times 3 times 3. So remember, so that's the 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So the day before the 28th Nisan. Okay. Number 2. We may say, what are we saying here? The Rebbe says we may say, which is in Chiddush, that this is one of the reasons why the giving of Torah was given in the 3rd month, and is connected to the number 3. As the words of our sages, it says, "Blessed is Hashem, God, who gave a trifold Torah and a trifold nation on the 3rd day of the 3rd month." Rabbi Nisan Gaon, in other words, more aspects of the 3 in connection with the giving of the Torah. So in other words, the Torah was given, what's it mean? It was given, there were like 3 parts in the written Torah, that was one thing. And then there's three different types, there's Kohanim, Leviim, and Yisrael, 3 types of different tribes, those are overall tribes. And that's a trifold nation. And on the 3rd day of the 3rd month, and then, what's the 3rd day of the 3rd month? Is the Jews for the first 3 days of Sivan, we separated ourselves. And so it was and we had to separate, but between us and our wives, not have any relationships, to be pure. And on for the 3 days after that is when we received the Torah. And also it says that Rabbi Nisan Gaon, he says many more aspects with 3 in connection with Torah. So getting involved in the letter 3, which is a chazak, which means the strength of 3, like a triangle. Since that through the giving of the Torah, a koach, a power, an endurance, a strength, was infused in the Jewish people and the entire world, as is known that the decree of divine. Now, what happened? We're going to explain over here that when we received the Torah on Mount Sinai, there was a major change. What was the major change? The major change was that before the giving of the Torah, it says that the Avos were very special, the forefathers, and they did spiritual things. They kept all the words in the Torah 613 commandments. They kept it all, but it was in a spiritual sense, because whatever they did, they couldn't change the world. And then right now we put what's called tefillin on, and we wrap it with straps, and it's written on a parchment by a holy man. It takes a good pair of tefillin costs you $500, $600, $700, maybe more. You can get cheap, probably $1,000, $1,500. I don't know what it's cost. I haven't bought for a while, but expensive, and they're very specially made. So, times of Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov, before the giving of the Torah, they would do the same spiritual thing, connecting to God above, but whatever they used was like sticks. They just threw it away, because the spirituality was not able to affect the physical. Now, after giving the Torah, and we'll see, then they find the Gula Shlema, we're talking about it more, the complete redemption, that the spiritual becomes imbued and part of the physical, and the physical becomes like holy. This is an amazing thing. So this is what we're talking about, the giving of the Torah, that before that there was the decree dividing the upper realms and the lower realms, and was nullified, and we were given the power to draw and reveal godliness, the upper realms in the world, this lowest world, the lowest which has no lower than it, it's the most lowest. In other words, people actually think they're a separate entity from God. You can think you're something else, to the extent that this will fully permeate the existence of the world in an internalized way, that the matters of the world themselves shall become a holy object, like he says. Like it's an amazing thing. Like there's a law when you want to make an oath. So if you make an oath, you're doing something that's very serious, and if you break it, it's terrible. So, but you want to make an oath because you want to bring extra power, extra strength from God. You're having problems in an area, so you want to make an oath saying, I'm not going to do this because you want to. And so you bring down extra strength from Hashem, from God. And it says you're supposed to take an object of holiness. So it's an amazing thing. So here it is. I took the 6th cow, I made parchment, I wrote it tefillin, I made the tefillin, and all of a sudden, in order for me to go to a higher spiritual level, I need the power of the tefillin that I made, because the tefillin itself became holy. It's not longer just a cow with some ink on it. Because if I just took some parchments or a cow and the ink separately before doing anything, I couldn't hold it. It wouldn't give me over holiness. So it says, and this is a way that we bring down that the world itself becomes holy. In the times of Mashiach, we're going to see a much greater level, times of the redemption. And on the contrary, the Torah was given, at the giving of Torah, specified in the lowest world, of which there is no lower than it, to the extent that it is not in the heavens. Since the main power and the strength of godliness is clearly evident specifically in the physicality of this world, and the lowest of which, and we see down all the lowest level you see is godliness, so that means that means it reveals how everything is. In the lowest level, there is no lower, and specifically to the level of below, that is drawing. Hold on a second. Let's go over this again. It's clearly evident. Okay. Since the main power and the strength of godliness is clearly evident specifically in the physical world, in the lowest of which there is no lower, and specifically that through the service of below is the drawing forth of the essence of God, essence of Hashem, means God's Hashem himself, as accomplished, to the extent that through the elevating of the lowest, the whole building is lifted up, also the highest levels of the gradual ascent of the lights of Hashem. In other words, they have many different levels. So there are many different spiritual levels. Each spiritual level means there's less covered over from God. So the lower world, there's more God. It's more, you're not so, they're covering over. It's hidden. The great godliness, the great light of Hashem, the great or, the great wonderfulness is hidden over. You couldn't, and this goes down to lower and lower creatures, because the creature can't. We know now, especially now, that if you're too strong of light and you don't have a vessel to hold it, it breaks it. So that's what so that it has to be according to a certain level. So, hold on, where was I? So what we do here by working in this world, since it's the lowest of all worlds, it has on a level that since it exists, we have to listen to some of the prior classes, that since the world is the only world that really exists, so to speak, it doesn't really exist. It appears to exist. From God's perspective, it doesn't exist at all. So, but it appears to exist, and since it appears to exist, so therefore it's a certain quality that's the only thing of all creation, of anything that God made, that itself has appears from one perspective to exist. So it says that this is where Hashem puts his essence, this world. And by doing Hashem's work, we reveal Hashem's essence, reveal that Ein Od Milvado, and this elevates all the other higher spiritual levels. And this started with this concept of being able to do this started by the giving of the Torah. And the complete revelation of the power of the third month, the power of the giving of Torah, is Koach, the 28th of Nisan. This is when the Rebbe, remember, came to America. When we have the completeness of 3 times 3 times 3 days in the third month. Number and 3. We will understand that based on the connection of Parsha of Shlach, which we read last Shabbos, which we read last Shabbos, which blesses the 28th of Nisan most years. So what's it say over there? Shlach, send for yourself people that they will tour the land of Canaan, referring to sending the spies by Moshe to go to see the land in order to ease the entering and conquering of the land. And being that this was a shlichus, a mission from Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moses, the leader of the generation, told them there was a special messenger from him, special job, that though in a matter sent for you, I'm not commanding you, rather you on your own accord. However, did he did according to the dot, literally the opinion of Moshe. Hashem testifies that according to your own opinion, according to the opinion of Moshe. So it says over here that when he sent Moshe Rabbeinu, let's go over this, okay, especially that his unique qualities in general das, it is understood that the mission from the perspective of the opinion of Moshe certainly was fulfilled, and this was actually made easier for him afterwards to enter to conquer and enter the land, as it happened through Yoshua, the student of, and the successor of Moshe. So we're talking about here that we see that when Moshe sent the spies, and the spies in the Parsha talks about Moshe tell them, just go to the land and see how beautiful it is, and come and tell us that this is what God's giving us. And it says that they made a mistake. They didn't want to go. They said we can't. It's too big for us. Too hard for us to conquer it. They turned it around in a bad way. But we ended another a lot of years. But he says over here, the fact is that Moshe Rabbeinu, that he sent us there in order that finally when we did enter the land, it was good. Listen, so we're going to go on to understand this. So that's it. He says, generally Moshe is the Indian from Sirus of Das. So it's understood that the shlichus that comes from the Das of Moshe was surely fulfilled. And it was done in a way that it affected later on when the Jews landed to Israel. Later on, after he came and we spent the time in the desert, it made it easier for us to do. Okay. So what's the Eden? It says that the Id does matter in the service of Hashem. That every person needs to conquer his portion of the world in the lowest world to make it Eretz Yisrael. So whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm living, whoever's watching, everybody has to bring down godliness and reveal godliness and reveal that the world is just Hashem and make it into Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael means a place where God is revealed. If you come here, I've been here for a couple of years. It's an amazing place. You see godliness much easier. So it says, okay, that every Jew needs to conquer his portion of the world in this lowest world and make it into Eretz Yisrael. In the known words, it says to make Hashem a dwelling place below, that we should bring God down below and make a place where God can reveal himself in a real way. In order to fulfill this easily, we have the mission by Yisuru, that they toured the land of Israel, and the explanation says that Moshe spent the spies to go through Eretz Israel to see how wonderful it was. As explained, that's an explanation for this. By Yisuru in Hebrew is an end by Yisaron. What's mean by Yisaron? An advantage, and that land is everything. For Yisuru as ours means to go through a tour of the land, but you take the word by Yisuru and it comes a Yisrun Eretz B'Kol Shehi. That it's you turn it around a little bit, change the wording a little bit, that's how you read it, and change a few letters, I guess. Mostly the same letters. Add a nun in it. That means that there's a special added advantage in land is in everything. That there's special something in this world, this lowest world special. That the advantage that there's specifically in land, the lowest realms, more than the heavens and all the levels above. It's known that specifically in the land there is the power of growth, Koach, something from nothing, which is drawn from the level that is above. So it says simply when you plant something and doesn't that all of a sudden the power comes to give this life. It wasn't there before. You don't have a whole tree there. There's a Koach, the power of growth, which is drawn to this power of growth is something from nothing, which is drawn forth from the level that is like, how's that happening? There's something you had has to become nothing. It disintegrates and then it gives birth. But it's something which is drawn down from the level that is above and beyond the graduate descent of the light of Hashem. And especially, so in order for this to happen, there's something, this power of it comes something beyond the worlds. It's a miracle. And especially through the service in the land in refining the refinements of this physical world, which through this there is an advantage, the advantage of light coming for darkness. So when you're working and making the world better and dealing with it, like we all have to do, you have to go and deal with and do better stuff, and deal with whatever we're doing. So then there's a special advantage because we're revealing the light from darkness. I said before, very interesting, is that I've become religious. I started in 1920. When I was 20 years old, 1920 was 1970. And I was in Israel. I started learning with Rebbe Ginsburg and some people there. And a friend of mine there, and he was in really bad shape. Then he finally came here, married, got a bunch of kids. Now I see him at 770. He's like a guy. Looks like an angel, a malach. I mean, he's amazing. You sit there, you see like light coming out from him. And I'm telling him like about tshuva, like if you have to listen to my other classes, talking about how the person about tshuva has come back. It's very special nowadays. And I'm explaining to him, and he looks at me, and he says, "Only when you get to the darkness, the true darkness, you see the light." And I know this guy, he's light, and I know he had a really hard time. So it says that's what we're talking about, which through there is an advantage, the advantage of light from the darkness. You see this throughout, that many, many people turned around and doing much better, and they have a terrible life. So, but the dark said, this is how God made it. I mean, it's a big question on God, why he made it this way, but this is how things work. Well, known times of Mashiach, times of the Will, maybe. And okay, now, so it says, in a spiritual, B'shorish ha'inyanim, said, what is the source of this, of what we're learning? He says that the land itself is called spheres of Malchus, the attributes of Malchus, which has an advantage over all the other spheres. They're like the world that we have different, the Kabbalah and Chassidic, they're different spheres. Chachma being of a das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, and then you have the emotive spirit, as the emotive attributes, love, fear, different ways we react. And the final one, where everything's received, is called Malchus. So it says that it's a special thing that is above him, because the advantage of the land is in having called everything, that Malchus has called. The spheres of Yisod, which in it is called, the spheres before it, and the advantage of Malchus is accomplished through drawing forth of Kol, all the spheres that were included in the spheres of Yisod, in the land of Malchus. However, afterwards, when it's drawn down into Malchus, the advantage of Malchus, in comparison to other spheres, is that it's revealed the woman of valor is the crown of her husband, and in medium measurable higher advantage than the other spheres that are above Malchus, to the extent that it becomes the advantage in the land is everything. And the Rebbe is saying here that everything coming down into the different level, the higher spheres, you have to look, the 10 spheres, you have to study on this, but how God reveals himself and how we act in the world is broken up into these ways. Now everything is included in the finest and the sphere of Yesod, foundation, and Yesod gives into Malchus. So since everything's including there, and Malchus receives it, it gets everything. That's what we're talking about. That through this you get called, you get all the spirits, are including the spirits of Yesod, and in the land Malchus, however, afterwards, when it's drawn into Malchus, you have the advantage of Malchus in comparison to all the other spheres, the higher levels, is revealed as the woman of value is a crown of her husband, is an emergently higher advantage than the other spheres. Even though it's just receiving, but it has a little beyond everything else, kingdomship, and that they are above Malchus, that are above this level. When you look at the spheres, Malchus is the lowest level in the diagram, the kingdomship, to the extent that it becomes the advantage of the land and everything. What's it mean? That Bakal, that in everything is opening manifest specifically in Malchus, that in this lower levels of this magnification, this man has known that the purpose of Malchus is to bring out everything in a revealed and complete way, in a firm and enduring manner, since the power and the strength of godliness is revealed specifically in and through the land, and the refinement of the lowest, which is the source of Malchus, the last of the spheres, that's the lowest level. Moreover, that the source for the worlds of being a Yitzir V'Asiyah, to the extent that this elevates all the levels above, as mentioned above. And nevermore, you can read this over, you get the transcript. They say you go to Rebbe's, it'll be on the app Rebbe 770, and you should go on that, and it has all of this, the classes where it is. But basically what he's saying here is that Malchus, even though it's receiving, it receives everything. And it's like the land receiving the seeds. And it's the power of tzamek, the power of growth also. So it gives forth to love that's beyond everything. It takes everything, and the only reason it can receive everything is, in essence, is tied above everything. And how do you get a level that's beyond that? You get to tie yourself into the essence of God. And this is the meaning. V'yishura es Eretz Yisrael, es Canaan, of Yisura es Eretz Canaan. It said they toured the land of Canaan, talking about the spies, that they toured the land. If you have to look at the Parsha in the Torah about the sending of the spies, that through the service of a Jew in the Eretz Yisrael of Canaan, specifically he reveals Yisarvan, the added thing, the virtue that there is in the land. Yisran Eretz V'Kolhi. There's an added advantage which gives the power to conquer and to go into the land and to settle there in a permanent way, including to make it there in the lowest realms a dwelling place for Hashem. So there's a level in the land that has a special quality, that special koach, even though when we're talking about it seems to be the lowest level of that. But there's something special there, and this special thing, when we take it, we can elevate and change everything. Based on this, he says we can understand the connection of the 28th of Sivan, which is blessed by the Shabbos Parsha of Shlach, when the Koach, the third month, is clearly revealed. The power so this, the Rebbe said over them when he said this, so Sivan, that the Shabbos before was Shlach, so it was blessed from Shlach. So it's that 30 is the Koach of the third month, is clearly revealed the power that was given at the giving of Torah to accomplish and reveal the virtue in the land, which gives us the ability to make from it a dwelling place for Hashem. So basically, the Rebbe said, the Rebbe's always done. So I have to understand everything the Rebbe has to do, talk about, is how we can bring redemption and how special we are and what we should be doing. And how that we can see what's happening in the world, that we have more specialty than anybody else ever before, and God giving us, like with His full open hand, the power to do our job and to bring the final redemption. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Okay, so it says, so for Koach is okay. Based on this, we can understand that the connection of the 20th in Sivan, which is blessed by the Shabbos of Parsha Shlach, when the Koach of the third month is clearly revealed, the power that was given at the giving of Torah to accomplish and reveal the virtue in the land, the Yisran Aretz V'Kolhi, that there's special quality in the land, which it gives us the ability to make from it a dwelling place for Hashem. So it gives us the strength that we can use everything from the physical world and make it a dwelling place for Hashem. From this, we have a special lesson from these recent generations. It's amazing, Sicha. That there is no explanation in what Caleb said in Parsha Shlach. He says, "Ascend, we shall ascend." He said, and what happened over here is that the Jews, the heads of the tribes, they didn't want to go in that land of Israel. They didn't want to what's the reason? They made a big mistake. Anyways, so it said some bad things because they said, when we went in there, we saw these giants and this and that. So Yeshua and Caleb, they got up, and was it Caleb? I don't think it was Yeshua. Let's see here. When it's Caleb, he said in the Parsha, he got up and told the Jews that we should ascend, we should go up. So it says ascend twice. And I will lift you up, indeed lift you up. That this refers to the two ascents. The first ascent from the Egyptian exile in Eretz Yisrael, that's going up to a higher level, and the building of the Beis HaMikdash. And the second ascent from the final exile into Eretz Yisrael, and the true and complete redemption. So that's now what we're doing, we're looking at. And the building of the third Beis HaMikdash, so he says two going up. So one is for a time when we went up from Egypt and going into and building the Beis HaMikdash. The third one is for now, the final Beis HaMikdash. And Jesus says, the days you left Egypt, I will show them wonders. So this is the level where I understand Rebbe's explaining how special and how amazing things are right now. Just as the purpose of the Egyptian exile was in order to receive the Torah. At the giving of the Torah, the revealed parts of the Torah. So that's why we had to go to Egypt, because we had to reach a level of refinement to receive the Torah. So too, this entire long exile is to merit the revelation of the deep aspects of the Torah that will come to be in the time to come. As Rashi explains the words, he will pour on me from the kisses of his mouth. What's it mean? That Hashem will pour on me from the kisses of his mouth. That we are promised by Hashem that he will reveal himself to us again. Because when you're kissing, it's a metaphor, you're revealing yourself, you're connecting in an inner way. So Hashem is going to connect with us in an inner way, that he will reveal himself to us again, to explain to us its secret reasons and hidden treasures. So this is going to happen in the time to come. This is what we're working on right now. So that's why we're in Galus, and that's why we're serving Hashem, and we're helping each other out. We're doing all this because we want to meet at much higher level. It says, and being that there has to be the phenomenon that those who taste it merit life. At the end of the 6th millennium, Erev Shabbos, of the redemption, that right now it says we're in times of, as I said, where there's 6,000 year periods of the Torah of the world, and 7,000 comes like the times of redemption, just like Shabbos. So right now we're already finishing. We're Erev Shabbos right now. That there's a revelation. According to how long, according to the Jewish calendar. Therefore, there's a revelation in the deeper realm of the Torah and the spreading of the wellsprings outwards in the second half of the 6th millennium. Beginning with the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid, the general doctrine of Chassidus, and afterwards in a manner of investment in wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, the doctrine of Chabad, Chassidus. So Rebbe's explaining right now that now we're right times right before Mashiach, like Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. Like Erev Shabbos, you don't do work, you just get involved for Shabbos. So he says we've reached this level, this special level, and he's showing how it is, because with the advent of the revelations of the secrets of the Torah, that have started through the Baal Shem Tov, and then through the Maggid, and then through the Chabad, where the Alter Rebbe, when he taught about Schach Levina Das, that we should bring these wonderful high concepts inside ourselves and understand us, through the Alter, especially after the redemption from the 19th of Kislev, in the 3rd month of the winter months, similarly to the month of Sivan, the month of the giving of the Torah, the 3rd month of the summer months. So it's just explaining more how special it was as when Alter Rebbe let out from prison, because there was a decree above as to whether it was time the world was ready to receive this specialness, and they were. Then it explains, and each later, and then now we have more and more inner parts of the Torah revealed, and our rabbis, our leaders, his successors, which the revelation of the teaching of Chassidus is the beginning, at least a taste. However, a taste of the whole thing. That right now we're tasting the redemption. Literally, it says that taste, when you taste a little taste, you taste what everything is be, of the revelation of the deeper realm of the Torah of the time to come. And just as at the beginning of the Torah, in the 3rd month, was given the power of a Yisur Esaretz, so just as the giving Torah, the 3rd month, we had the power that we should, that's the meaning, how's he say it over here, the general, namely, to transfer, by Yisur Esaretz, that in the 3rd month, we're giving the power that we could go into the land and Torah and take him elevated. In general, namely the transformation of this lowest world to the extent that the world will assist and reveal godliness. Similarly, similarly is also accomplished through the revelation of how do we do this? How do we reveal the special power that's right now? How do we do this? We do this is accomplished through the revelation of the inner dimensions of the Torah, Chassidus, and the spreading of the wellsprings outward, especially in a manner of investment in understanding Chabad in the human intellect, so that we bring it down and we understand it becomes part of us, including in the intellect of the animal soul. Each one of us has an animal soul. We have divine soul and animals, a godly soul and animal soul. The animal soul by itself, left by itself, just wants to do what it wants to do. It has its desires, its taivas. It's stupid. It's animal. But by making it smart, by revealing godliness in it, it realizes the best thing is to be holy. And it becomes a holy animal. It's including the intellect of the animal soul and even the worldly intellect, which this gives the power that the nature of the word and the matters below shall be a vessel for godliness. So this, what we do when we're doing stuff in our world, in our life, we have to do it so everything's wonderful. We have to do it properly. And so when we do something, we use it with holiness. And all of this thing that we're doing, we're making the whole world like refining it, like taking a diamond out of dirt and washing it off. And then when we wash it off, then it just shines with amazing shining. And on the contrary, to the revelation of the inner dimension of the Torah, the Chassidus, that's what we're learning now. This is the inner dimension that we're learning in the sixth millennium, is an innovation is reached regarding the giving of Torah, that we receive yet a deeper power to reveal godliness in the world. Now, this is amazing stuff, more than was in a revealed way at the giving of the Torah. Torah was there, 3 million people there. Now we're receiving even a higher level than that. Only that this was given in the potential and hidden at the giving of the Torah. Similarly, it says that all the veteran students will innovate, was given innovation, was given Mount Sinai at too much. No, the Torah was given has everything, even the secrets of Kabbalah, even the Torah HaMashiach. But it says, they weren't revealed. Now we have the power to reveal the inner parts. That through the giving of the revealed part of the Torah, the Gali Deraisa, which was mainly at the giving of the Torah, which revealed parts like the written Torah, what the laws, how they do different things. We receive mainly the power to reveal revealed aspects of Hashem and the revealed aspects of Jewish people, and through this, the revealed aspects of godliness in the world. So I guess we reveal how God is running the world. Reveal aspects how you can see and understand certain things. That through the leverage of the hidden parts of the Torah, we receive the power to reveal the hidden aspects of Hashem, of God, and the hidden aspects of the Jewish people. And through this, the hidden aspects of godliness in the world, that you have the highest levels of godliness which are hidden in the land. It says the advantage of the land is in everything, including the power, the Atzvus Mahus, the essence of God Himself, which in this specifically, this physical world, only here now where we're living, we can really do it. Which He alone has the power and ability to create something from nothing. This is like an amazing concept. So, only everything in all the creation is those in all the higher worlds. They're all a part of God. They're not separate. They're all like one with God. They're just an extension from godliness. But this world, it appears itself that it's something separate. This world appears that it's separate from God. That it appears that I appear, I'm Sri Rao, I'm a separate creation. This is a separate creation. But really isn't. It's just all part of godliness. God's enlivening you every minute. But in order for only God could do something that even though if you see it's enlightening power, it's all godliness, but it appears in one sense it does exist. So only God could do such a thing, because only the true existence can make something that appears that it exists. Everything else goes from cause and effect, and they don't really exist. So this is only, so therefore, that's only that it's clearly that. Let's go over the explanation of this is that the outward. Where did I go here? I lost my place. Okay. Well, we finished. I'm gonna take a little bit a break. I'm gonna go on in TikTok, but I'm gonna take a break. Start of my video long over. So we got down through number 6. We're gonna start right now up to number 6. Isn't it amazing? The Rebbe, it's the highest Torahs ever given, the highest spirituality ever given, and this is the Rebbe. And as I say, you can go to order the book. They have in English too. This is actually has English and Hebrew or Yiddish was originally done. I mean, I know Yiddish, but the Rebbe would sometimes produce them in Hebrew, sometimes produce them in English. So this is what I learn off of. It's amazing. So last year the Rebbe spoke. The Rebbe says, as I've given that class before, that this is the most important thing. By learning this, you learn that we're in times of redemption, and you learn to live the level of the goodness. You get to see what's good in the world and attach yourself and live that way to bring more goodness. Because in order to bring something, you have to be a vessel for it. So this is the Rebbe's talking about how we're mamish. We're in that, and we'll talk more, and there's more about this. Okay, so I'm going to start like a new video for my other videos. I'm going to continue with you guys here. So we're at number 6.